Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the latest developments and analyze geopolitical events. Today, we dive into a topic that has captured international attention: the potential downfall of Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation. In this video, we'll examine the factors contributing to this pivotal moment. Join me as we delve into the Russian Federation's near-civil war, the rise of Yevgeny Prigozhin and the Wagner Group, and the power struggle between Wagner and the Russian army. Let's start with the introduction. The Russian Federation finds itself on the brink of a civil war, a crisis that could have disastrous consequences. At the heart of this conflict, it is the emergence of the Wagner Group, led by the enigmatic Yevgeny Prigozhin. The private military company has become a formidable fighting force, challenging the supremacy of the regular Russian army. The power struggle between the Wagner Group and the Russian army is significant. Despite being technically illegal under Russian law, Prigozhin's close ties with President Putin allowed him to create Wagner Group as an extension of the Russian government. However, this decision has sown the seeds of Putin's potential downfall. Wagner Group, originally intended to operate on behalf of Russian interests worldwide while providing plausible deniability, quickly evolved into a powerful force. Unlike other PMCs, Wagner possesses heavy equipment including tanks, artillery, air defenses, and helicopters. With operations spanning the globe, its most valuable assets are the lucrative mines in Africa, which make Wagner a self-funded operation largely independent of the Russian government. This independence proved to be a double-edged sword for Vladimir Putin. As the battle for strategic towns like Bakhmut escalated, tensions between Wagner and the regular Russian army intensified. Prigozhin even attempted to strike a deal with Ukrainian intelligence, offering them valuable information on Russian units in exchange for the capture of Bakhmut. However, the deal fell through, leading to further complications in the conflict. While Wagner and the Russian army engaged in fierce battles, their rivalry hindered the overall Russian war effort. There were allegations of Wagner leaking intelligence to the Ukrainians, leading to devastating attacks on Russian officers. This rivalry also prevented a unified invasion force, as different factions prioritized their own interests over cooperation. With mounting casualties and costs, Prigozhin, driven by his own ambition, embarked on a coup attempt. However, the true motives behind this move remain shrouded in mystery. Some speculate that it was an effort to seize power, while others believe it was a calculated risk to force Putin into pardoning him amidst potential treason charges. Regardless of Prigozhin's intention, the coup sent shockwaves through Russia. His forces swiftly captured key cities like Rostov, on Don, and Voronezh, posing a significant challenge to the Russian government. However, without substantial political support, Prigozhin ultimately called off the march on Moscow and negotiated a pardon from Putin. Now, let's delve deeper into the role of private military companies, PMCs, in modern warfare. Putin's strategic calculation in allowing Wagner Group's creation and the rapid expansion of Wagner Group and its impressive arsenal of heavy equipment. Private military companies, or PMCs, have become increasingly influential in today's conflicts. These non-state entities provide military and security services for various clients, including governments, corporations, and even individuals. Wagner Group, as a PMC, operates outside the confines of traditional military structures and regulations. But why did Putin strategically allow the creation of Wagner Group? While PMCs are technically illegal under Russian law, Putin recognized their potential usefulness. By authorizing Prigozhin to establish Wagner Group, Putin sought to create an entity that could act as an extension of the Russian government, conducting operations around the world while maintaining plausible deniability. However, Putin's decision to empower Wagner Group planted the seeds of his own potential downfall. The rapid expansion of the PMC was beyond what anyone had anticipated. From a small light infantry force, Wagner Group transformed into a formidable army in its own right. What sets Wagner Group apart from other PMCs is its significant arsenal of heavy equipment. Main battle tanks, artillery pieces, air defenses, and even helicopters are among the assets at their disposal. This level of firepower allows Wagner Group to engage in battles on par with regular military forces. Wagner Group's expansion, coupled with its self-funding through lucrative mines in Africa, has made it nearly independent of the Russian government. This independence has both bolstered the group's power and created tensions within the Russian war effort. As Wagner Group's influence grew, so did the rivalry between the PMC and the regular Russian army. Incidents of sabotage and clashes between the two forces further undermined the effectiveness of Russia's military operations. This internal strife has directly contributed to Russia's struggle in its efforts to defeat the smaller, less equipped Ukraine. The existence and rapid rise of Wagner Group raises important questions about the nature of warfare in the modern world. The involvement of powerful PMCs, their access to heavy weaponry, and their potential for independence challenge traditional notions of state-centered military power. Now let's dig deeper into Wagner's African mines, the Battle of Bakhmut, and the strategic significance of Ukraine in Russia's desperate pursuit. One key factor that has contributed to Wagner Group's strength and independence is its control over lucrative mines in Africa. These mines serve as a self-funding mechanism, allowing Wagner to operate almost completely independent of the Russian government's financial support. This financial autonomy has allowed Prigozhin's group to amass substantial resources and further expand its influence. The Battle of Bakhmut, a strategically insignificant town, would prove to be a turning point in Russia's internal catastrophe, as the Ukrainian forces realized the Russian Federation's willingness to endure high casualties for the capture of Bakhmut. The town became a focal point of the entire war. The relentless pursuit of Bakhmut, with mounting casualties on the Russian side, revealed the extent of Russia's desperation for a victory. Ukraine's strategic significance in the eyes of Russia cannot be overstated. The pursuit of Bakhmut was driven by President Putin's desperation for a win amidst a series of setbacks. The stunning Ukrainian counterattack and the Ukrainian army's resilience posed a threat to Putin's regime, both politically and strategically. Thus, capturing Bakhmut became a symbolic and ideological victory sought by the Russian army and Wagner Group. Russia's struggle in the war against Ukraine, coupled with its mounting casualties, created internal tensions and division within its military forces. The rivalry between Wagner Group and the Russian army exasperated these problems. Wagner's leaking of intelligence to the Ukrainians and clashes between the two factions further undermined Russia's war efforts. Ukraine, benefiting from the rivalry between Wagner and the Russian army, found itself facing not a unified invasion force, but a multitude of individual armies with their own interests. This lack of cooperation, and the withholding of vital intelligence by different factions within Russia's military apparatus, played to Ukraine's advantage, making their resistance more effective. As the Battle of Bakhmut raged on, costs mounted, tensions within Russia escalated, and Prigozhin sought a deal with Ukrainian intelligence to exchange the town for valuable information. However, the deal fell through, intensifying the already toxic environment between Wagner and the Russian Ministry of Defense. Now, let's dive into the political support and popular sentiment for Prigozhin, as well as the aftermath of the coup and speculations on its true purpose. Prigozhin's coup attempt garnered unexpected political support and significant popular sentiment. Despite lacking backing from politicians, Prigozhin's action resonated with many in occupied Rostov-on-Don. Massive crowds gathered to cheer on Wagner as they departed the city, chanting Prigozhin's name. This outpouring of support was largely unnoticed within Russia due to government restrictions on social media and internet usage. However, it's important to note that Prigozhin's popularity surge occurred in the absence of widespread media coverage. Prior to the coup, he was relatively unknown to most Russians, thanks to a media ban on mentioning him or Wagner. Nevertheless, Prigozhin's popularity has surged since the coup, leaving many to wonder if he was aware of the support he had gained. The aftermath of the coup saw Prigozhin receiving a blanket pardon from Vladimir Putin and being allowed to leave Russia for Belarus. This unexpected outcome raises questions about the true purpose of the coup. Some speculate that Prigozhin never intended to overthrow Putin, but rather sought to force a pardon and major concessions from the government to avoid prosecution. An alternative theory suggests that the coup was orchestrated as a way to shift blame onto Russian defense officials, specifically Sergei Shoigu and General Valery Gerasimov. By presenting himself as a loyal patriot, Prigozhin could potentially avoid direct confrontation with Putin and later be seen as a well-meaning individual who went too far in his pursuit of justice. In conclusion, Prigozhin's coup attempt garnered surprising political support and popular sentiment in occupied Rostov-on-Don. However, the true purpose of the coup remained shrouded in speculation. The aftermath saw Prigozhin receiving a pardon and leaving Russia, leaving many questions unanswered about the motivations and calculations behind his actions. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the potential end of Putin and Russia. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful analysis.